Hi, I'm Carrie. Welcome to my channel. It is another hashtag Tarot March Madness competition here today. And I have four more decks that are competing against each other to possibly come out of my neglected deck categories. So if you happen to miss my first video, it was posted just the other day and I explained the whole concept of this. This was a hashtag created by Crescent Dream Tarot, so be sure to go check out their channel to get all the details about how to play this game. But we are facing off four decks like the college basketball brackets, and there are three criteria that has to be met: the shuffle of each deck, the liked cards compared, and then the 3-card spread if you need like a tiebreaker. So the decks facing off today are going to be a tough one because I like these ones more than the first four decks that I chose. I probably should have like flip-flopped some of the competitors, but we are facing off two Llewellyn decks. Yeah, these are both Llewellyn. Yes, two Llewellyn decks, and this is the Bee Tarot and the Forest of Enchantment Tarot by Linnea Weatherstone and Christopher Hughes, art by Nadia Turner. We're going to be facing off two Llewellyn decks together, and we will be facing off the Housewives Tarot against the Zombie Tarot. I have had both of these decks forever. They are actually, as much as they are a neglected deck of mine, I adore both of these decks. So it's going to be a really hard choice between the two of these. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first two I'm going to do is the Housewives against the Zombie. The Housewives Tarot is a little bit smaller, so it is easier for me to handle and easier for me to shuffle. Both of them have a very similar cardstock though. So I'm like, I love these. I love them so much. I just don't use them, and I don't use them because I have so many decks in my collection now. These are really stiff for me. The Zombie Tarot is larger, so let's see if I can do it. And these ones are really hard to shuffle because I haven't used this deck as much as I've used this one. So this is a really stiff shuffle. It does okay overhand, but, and I know this one will be okay. If I can hold on to the cards. I know this one's going to be okay overhand, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Housewives because it's a little bit shorter, which makes it easier for me to shuffle and riffle. So we're going to go one for the Housewives. So I'm going to pick the liked cards and then we will compare them when I come back. Okay, so let's go through my favorites in the Zombie Tarot. I chose 38 out of the 78 cards, so that's pretty good. I could have actually chosen more than that. I really do like this deck. It just doesn't get any use from me. But these cards are so smart and so interesting, the take on the RWS meanings, and I love everything about this deck. I really do. Like I said, I could have chosen more. I will say I'm not too fond of the Hazard suit, which is the Pentacles, but I think all the rest of the deck is fantastic. So I don't know. This is one of my favorite cards, the Four of Wands. This celebration in this zombie party, this fool who's ignoring all the zombies coming up out of the ground as he, heads home and everything. I love this Chariot card. I can't remember who it is now that said that they use this deck, for interpersonal readings. They talked about using this deck for that. I could really see this deck used for that. When I was sorting through these cards, the thing that came up for me, and I thought, wow, I need to pull this out for this reason, and it's to do some political readings on. Now, I would never do public readings regarding that. That's just for my own personal benefit and that sort of thing. I don't put those views out there, but this would be a fantastic deck to do some political readings surrounding the climate of what's happening here. This is my ultimate favorite card in this entire deck, the Seven of Swords, where she is kicking him down the steps. There is nothing better than that card. So I love the cigarette machine as the devil, and this is like the mad scientist here as the magician. I don't know. This deck is fantastic. So yeah, we have, what did I say? 28 cards that I liked in this, or 38 cards that I liked in this deck. So let's check out the Housewives. Here are the cards that I've chosen from the Housewives Tarot as my favorite, and the total is 47. So that is a lot, and that makes it a clear winner over the Zombie Tarot. I was cracking up the whole time I was picking these cards. This deck is fabulous. This puts me in mind of the movie Grease, the Six of Pentacles, where he's over that cookies. I don't know. It's just hysterical, the imagery that they have to represent the meanings of the RWS with this, just like the Zombie Tarot that I talked about. I love that it says secret syrup here on the High Priestess. That is so funny. So this is another deck that is just so smart. And the Tower's Jello, so you know that's not gonna hold up. But oh my gosh, the King of Swords is the Master Barbecuer. That's funny. This is so great. I love that the Wheel of Fortune is a roulette wheel. The Two of Pentacles, where she's trying to, you know, juggle her duties and be the housewife. The Six of Cups here, if this would have been orange, it would have brought me right back to my childhood and drinking Tang. I remember my mother having to keep that in the top of the cupboard so we wouldn't like load up our glasses. We put like this much Tang in the bottom of our cups, and then just, you know, the little bit of water. Did anybody drink Tang? Let me know in the comments below. That's so funny. Oh, look here. Temperance, joy, justice, anger. I love this deck. The Devil Food Cake. The Hierophant. I think in the Zombie Tarot, I chose the Hierophant too, and I think it was a newscaster on TV. So it's really interesting that it's the radio here, very similar to one another. But yeah, these are all my favorites. Salmonella for the death card. This is just, it's fantastic. I love that she has to choose which drink she wants here. And the Seven of Cups, and this is the clear winner. So let's see. The Housewives won the shuffle test, and the Housewives now won the amount of cards in the deck, so I do not need to do a 3-card spread face-off between the two decks. So the Housewives is the clear winner in this match. So they will be moving on to the semifinals. So our next face-off is the Force of Enchantment against the B Tarot. I just talked about the Force of Enchantment in a video not that long ago, and I had said that I have not used this deck for at least, I think, 2 years. Matter of fact, I even took it out of my cupboard because I hadn't used it. Now, of course, this is Llewellyn cardstock, so it's going to be a favorite of mine to shuffle, as you can see. So this is going to be hard to determine. The B Tarot I just picked up last year. Now, here is the thing about these decks. The Good Fortune, the B Tarot, this Llewellyn, Force of Enchantment, all of these Llewellyn decks are no longer in their boxes. They're kept in a bag with their guidebook. I haven't had any issues with gaps happening in the cards or the cards bowing until I got this B Tarot. It hasn't happened to any of my other decks, and I've had this one a long time, and you can see how flat it is, and it's been in a bag for years. So I don't understand why the B Tarot is doing that. I don't understand why it's bowing inward. It's annoying for me. I'm just going to be honest about that. It's annoying. So as much as I like this cardstock, I am going to give the shuffle to the Forest of Enchantment. Look, I can't even shuffle because of the bow. It doesn't want to shuffle well overhand, and I shuffle like that a lot. So I am giving the shuffle to the Forest of Enchantment because it hasn't bowed, and the only difference between this is the older Llewellyn cardstock and this is that linen, and that's what I think is causing this deck to bow, because I don't have it, like I said, on any of my other ones. So I'm going to go through and pick my favorites from this deck, and we're going to compare and see which one I like more. So these are the cards that I have chosen as some of my favorites in the Forest of Enchantment tarot. I think this deck is absolutely lovely. I love the magical feeling that I get when I use this deck, while being pulled into this whole other fairy tale magical place is what it feels like when you read with this deck. So these are some of my favorites. The suits are named differently, and I always have to look up what some of them mean. I don't know why it doesn't stick with me. Probably because I don't use this deck enough. But there is a total of, did I say already? There is a total of, I think it was 37 cards that I liked in the Forest of Enchantment. So these are the cards that I chose as my favorites out of the B Tarot. Last year, I showed the B Tarot in a deck face-off against I forget what now. And at that time, the B Tarot was brand new. I had only owned it, I don't know, maybe a week, 2 weeks. It was very new to my collection. I couldn't say much about it when I was facing it off. I was just going by, what I saw in the images. I didn't read the guidebook or anything. Well, guess what? We are, I don't know how many months later. I have yet to work with this deck. Maybe 1-2 readings with it. That's all. And still have not read the guidebook, because I remember a comment where they said they'd wish I had read the guidebook to get the full gist of the deck and everything. And I completely agree with them, to understand, where the creator of the deck and that was coming from in creating this. But I still haven't done it. I have not used this deck. I have not wanted to pull out this deck and use it, and have not read the guidebook. But yet I find the images very appealing. Did I say how many I chose? There's 41 out of this deck that I chose, compared to the Forest of Enchantment, which I only chose 37. So that's really close to one another. So now I'm going to have to do a 3-card reading, because Forest of Enchantment won the shuffle and the B Tarot won the amount of cards that I like. Let's do like a mini deck interview. Let's do that. The deck's strength, the deck weakness, and the motivation of the deck. Let's just do that and see what comes out. So the deck strength, the Enchanter's Wheel, the deck weakness. What is the deck weakness? Starlight. And the motivation of this deck. So the deck strength, with the Wheel of Fortune or the Enchanter Wheel being here to help you navigate those quick changes that are coming up in your life. That's kind of how I would take that, to help you ease into the flow, go with the flow, and have your hand in manipulating those changes at the same time. The weaknesses with the star, maybe the weakness is, oh, maybe it's since it's the Force of Enchantment, the weakness is the divine connection, where, because it's more of an earthy, grounded energy to this deck. Listen, I'm stretching the meanings of this here, but let's just go with that. And then the motivation of this deck with the Green Mother here, which is the Empress, to help you understand the things that are growing and thriving, and what you need to step into and blossom in your life. I'm gonna take it as that. So let's see what the strength, weakness, and motivation of the B Tarot is. Okay, so these are the 3 cards, well 4, because they came out together. I'm going to keep them like that for the B Tarot: strength, weakness, and motivation. So the Ace of Jars, I believe, is the Ace of Cups. I find it really interesting that the Ace of Cups came out in the last video for the 3-card reading too, even though that reading was about something different. So what is the strength of this deck? I would see the Ace of Jars. Maybe this is helping you to step into your confidence through self-love. Maybe this deck can teach you about understanding and loving yourself and showing your emotions more and not hiding them. That was like in the other one, so that's interesting that that came out as the first card. So what is a weakness? And we have the 6 of Pentacles. Maybe this isn't good at, maybe this doesn't have a good balance to it. I mean, I don't see that as a tarot. I'm just using this card in the position that it's in. So if we were actually seeing this as a weakness of a deck, the 6 of Pentacles is there's not an equal give and take for some reason regarding this deck. So whether that is it's not as unbiased as it should be, or maybe it doesn't give as much as it should give, or maybe it expects more from you to take away, that sort of thing. Maybe it expects you to work a little harder. Maybe that could be the weakness for this 6 of Pentacles. And then the motivation behind this deck, we have the 7 of Wands. So when I think of the traditional RWS 7 of Wands, that's where people are coming at you and you've got to battle against them. So maybe this is helping you understand where you need to set better boundaries, where you need to draw the line. And since it's the Fool that came out with the 7 of Wands, maybe this is going to help you understand the new boundaries that you need to create in your life, especially if it's going to help you move into that state of self-love, self-acceptance, which will bring you around to that self-confidence and that sort of thing. Wow. So who's the winner? Who's the winner? I don't know, because I kind of liked both. I liked both readings. So who would be the winner? This is really tough. I really did enjoy the readings from both of these decks. And right now they're tied. I think I'm going to give it, I really did like both of these readings equally, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to the B Tarot, and maybe I can get this deck to not be warped anymore. So the B Tarot is officially moving on to the semifinals. So in the next video, we are facing off Good Fortune against the Dreaming Way and the Housewives against the B Tarot. And that's going to be really interesting to see who ends up in the finals. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. And please leave a comment below telling me which of the decks would have won if you were facing them off. So until I see you next time, bye.